Well, hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 tips for skincare in your 40s. You guys seem to be enjoying these videos, and as a reminder, I have a prior video on skincare tips for your 20s, and then another one on skincare in your 30s. So I'll link those down below if that is your age group and you want to check those out. As you approach your 40s, there are some skin changes that may start occurring. With age, we start to produce less oil, and a lot of times our skin becomes drier and more sensitive to cleansers and skincare products. We're more prone to irritation and stinging. The other thing that is occurring is age-related loss of collagen and elastin in the deeper layers of the skin. This leads to wrinkling and kind of loss of elasticity. You also might notice that your skin appears more dull, and this is due to the fact that with age, our skin cells turn over a lot more slowly than they did when we were younger. Also, you may appreciate more hyperpigmentation due to age-related UV exposure, and this can kind of lead to an uneven skin tone. Many people are still coping with acne into their 40s, and many of the acne treatments that you might have used in like your 20s or 30s are just too drying and irritating now that your skin is not as oily as it once was, but you are still having those breakouts. Those breakouts may be due to hormonal changes, especially around menopause. And then the other thing that happens to our skin with age is that the levels of antioxidants in our skin, like vitamin C and vitamin E, they too start to decline. And those are our defenses against free radical damage. In other words, our skin becomes more vulnerable to environmental stressors like ultraviolet radiation, pollution. Number one, cleanser. Cleansing is an important part of anyone's skincare routine, but when we get into our 40s, you may find that you need to switch up your cleanser. You may have used a foaming cleanser in the past, and foaming cleansers tend to be a lot more stripping and leave the skin kind of dry and parched, especially if you are experiencing age-related dryness. And instead, you might elect a gel cleanser or a cream-based cleanser. The other thing with the cleansing is that you may find that you need to reduce the frequency of cleansing, that your skin gets too dry if you're cleansing it twice a day. You may have to go to once a day. Number two, moisturize, especially at nighttime. This is really important. And as we get into our 40s, you may find that you need to use a really thick moisturizing cream to help your skin hold on to water. I suggest taking a look in your medicine cabinet at your body creams. A lot of body creams and body lotions, like what you buy in the drugstore, they are actually quite good for moisturizing the face. You know, they're just as good and tend to be a better value. Oftentimes body creams are very thick, and for people in their 40s, sometimes that's exactly what the skin on your face needs too. So go ahead and try that. But if using your body moisturizer on your face doesn't work out for you, I will list down below some very rich moisturizing facial creams that I think would be a good choice. But you'll find as you get into your 40s that moisturizing becomes more and more important, not only on your face, but on your body as well. Remember, I said we make fewer oils, more predisposed to dryness and irritation, and we also tend to lose even more water out of our skin, especially at nighttime. At nighttime, again, we're going through these reparative processes, and a downstream effect of that is an increase in what's called transepidermal water loss. And you may notice that when you wake up in the morning, your skin looks drier, maybe wrinkles are more prominent, and some of those signs of aging are more prominent. Maybe your skin just doesn't look as radiant. Moisturizing at night is a really important way to reduce that outcome. Some people even gravitate towards something as greasy as petrolatum to help reduce that transepidermal water loss, aka Vaseline, and that certainly is a great option as well. Not everybody gets along well with doing that, but it is an option that you may try out as you get into your 40s and find that you need a heavier moisturizer. Number three should be dead obvious, and that is sunscreen. SPF, so important, but I want to bring it up because that's what I do. And the other reason is sometimes I think people think, is it too late for me to start wearing sunscreen? I never wore it before, and I did sunbathing, the lemon juice and that aluminum foil rig that people walked around with. Even if you did all of that, just forget about it. You can start today with wearing sunscreen. Very important to protect your skin from the damaging effects of ultraviolet radiation, including the UV that comes through window glass. That UV that comes through window glass is called UVA, and it's actually what destroys the collagen in the deeper layers of your skin. So protect your skin wearing a broad spectrum sunscreen every day, even when it's cloudy out. It's very important. And when you are outdoors, it's important to make sure that you're reapplying it and that you use things like sun protective clothing, hats, gloves, and that you don't stay out sunbathing. You know, that's just exposing your skin to too much UV. It's going to be very damaging. And again, even if you never wore sunscreen before, now is a perfect time to start, because as we get into our 40s, a lot of the adverse consequences of sun exposure throughout our lifetime, beyond just the aging piece, things like skin cancers or pre-skin cancers, they start cropping up. And wearing sunscreen can reduce the formation of those. So go ahead and start wearing it now, even if you never wore it before. So those are the basics of any skincare routine. Is there anything else though that you might want to incorporate into your skincare routine as you get into your 40s? Well, you know, when we get wiser, our skin cells, they don't turn over as quickly as they once did, and that can lead to dull, dry appearing skin. And you may find that you want to begin introducing exfoliating into your skincare routine. I recommend using a chemical exfoliant. This helps remove sun-damaged skin cells, it can brighten up skin tone, it can soften dry patches, and just give the skin an overall more radiant appearance. I recommend chemical exfoliants over physical exfoliants like scrubs because they are more precise, and physical exfoliants, they can create these little micro tears in the skin that worsen dryness, which is the last thing that you want. And depending on your skin type, there are a variety of acids out there. I have a video all about how to exfoliate. But to remind you, if you have an oilier skin type, you will benefit from using a salicylic acid exfoliant. My favorite is a Paula's Choice BHA liquid exfoliant. Fantastic choice for people in their 40s. Not only will it help with the overall appearance of the skin, it also will help with acne control and reduce the appearance of pores and oiliness overall. If you have a dry skin type, I suggest alpha hydroxy acids. These can soften those dry patches and facilitate skin cell turnover and overall improves skin barrier function and moisture retention. And a good alpha hydroxy acid product to use a few nights a week is the Derma-E Overnight Facial Peel. I'll list that down below as well. Now, if you have really sensitive skin or rosacea prone skin, a chemical exfoliant that you might want to consider is a polyhydroxy acid. These are very, very, very gentle, and they really help with hydrating the skin and improving moisture retention without exfoliating too aggressively. I mentioned that as we get wiser, the antioxidant levels in our skin start to decline. We start to have less vitamin C and vitamin E. What about using a topical antioxidant to replenish that? Probably the most popular touted topical antioxidant on the market is going to be a vitamin C serum. I've talked about this in other videos before. Vitamin C applied topically to the skin has been shown to improve collagen, has been shown to, it has a brightening effect, it can improve areas of hyperpigmentation, it can smooth out wrinkles. I mean, it really has a lot of potential beneficial outcomes. Unfortunately, vitamin C is very hard to get to work in the skin. It's not stable and it's hard to get it into the skin. So the devil is in the details with the formulation. You want to look for L-ascorbic acid at 15 to 20%. It needs to be at an acidic pH, and it needs to be in the presence of vitamin E and ferulic acid. This combination of factors stabilizes the L-ascorbic acid, which is another name for vitamin C, and allows it to get into the skin where it can actually help increase the levels of vitamin C in the skin, help again with fighting off free radicals, boosting up collagen production, and all of those good things. There are a lot of vitamin C serums on the market, but the one that I have the most confidence in is the SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic. And I know it's expensive, but I mean, if you're gonna use vitamin C, I recommend that one. You only need like a few drops, 1 to 2 small drops, and pat it into your skin first thing in the morning, so you don't need a ton. It should last you about 3 months. The next thing is retinol. All right, to me this is more important than the vitamin C for sure. It's something to consider incorporating into your skincare routine in your 40s if you haven't already. Retinol is topical vitamin A. Retinol is kind of an umbrella term for a variety of different vitamin A compounds. You have retinol, retinaldehyde, and retinoic acid. The goal of all of these is to put retinoic acid into your skin. That can kind of change around gene expression in your skin, which I know sounds scary, but it's a good thing to increase collagen synthesis, to facilitate skin cell turnover, to remove some sun-damaged skin cells, and to improve ultimately the look of wrinkles and fine lines. So incorporating some form of topical vitamin A in your 40s is prudent. What are the differences between the forms? Well, retinol, which is probably one of the most commonly found things that you'll see out there in the drugstore and whatnot. Retinol has to, when you put it on your skin has to convert it to retinoic acid. And to do that, it has to undergo 2 steps. Retinaldehyde is another form of vitamin A that's less commonly found, but there's one that Aven makes that's quite good, the Retrin AL. I actually have it here because I just filmed my Aven video for you guys. This is retinaldehyde. Retinaldehyde, your skin only has to do 1 step to get it to its active state, so that's more, effective. And then you also have adapalene, which is another form of vitamin A that's stable and active as is. So you could use that, aka Differin. Or, you may be seeing a derm at this point and you may want to ask them for a prescription for retinoic acid, aka tretinoin. It is FDA approved for wrinkles and fine lines, so, you might want to try the prescription stuff. Prescription stuff is more irritating, but it is the most well studied for improving wrinkles and fine lines. Speaking of derm, in your 40s, is to start seeing a derm once a year if you can for a head-to-toe total body skin check. This is important especially if you have a family history of skin cancer, namely melanoma, and it's really important if you have a family history of melanoma to be getting skin checks. And I say in your 40s because a lot of these pre-skin cancers and many skin cancers, they start cropping up in our 40s. So this is a good time to establish a relationship with a dermatologist and get in and have an annual skin check. That way, if new stuff comes up, your dermatologist can compare it to your past year's exams. It's really a helpful thing. And the skin check thing is not just for people who have pale skin. It's for people with deeper skin tones. People with skin of color need to be seeing a derm too for a skin check. Even though you have a lower rate of skin cancer formation, it's still important. One thing we know is that while Black people have a lower risk of getting melanoma, they're at a higher risk for dying from it because their melanomas tend to be diagnosed at a later stage, meaning they're picked up when it's perhaps too late, and that's why they have a higher rate of death. And so seeing your derm is a good way to, screen for that. People with deeper skin tones, they have a variety of other skin issues that often start cropping up in their 40s that your derm can help you out with. Things like dermatosis papulosis nigricans, which is a benign skin condition, but it bothers a lot of people. And if you're like, whoa, what the heck is that? I have a video on it, but it says little brown, soft, kind of mole-looking things that a lot of Black people get as they get wiser. Most often can happen like on the cheeks, and so sometimes you might want to have those looked at if they're changing or uncomfortable, and maybe you want to have them removed. So it's good to establish a relationship with the derm. My bias, I am a derm, so I think it's important. Truth be told though, there is no consensus on when the best time to start having skin checks is, and if it truly makes a difference ultimately. But I do think it's important, and a lot of these things can be picked up early and treated early, and so you have a better outcome. All right, number 8 is another one of those things where it's like, am I too late to the party? And that is diet and exercise. Absolutely not. Make sure you're getting your fruits and vegetables in, because that's actually going to help your skin fight off free radical damage better than if you don't eat those things. Diets rich in fruits and vegetables, they have carotenoids in them. They actually can help your skin deal with ultraviolet radiation a little bit better, and ultimately, can benefit you in more ways than just your skin. Along with diet too is exercise. Really important to keep going with your exercise in your 40s and not become a couch potato. This is really critical because as we get wiser, through age-related changes, we start to lose muscle mass and bone density. Weight-bearing exercises are a really helpful way to protect the health of your bones. And then of course, cardiovascular exercise is important for the most important muscle in your body, your heart, and reduces inflammation in the body. So it has a protective outcome in terms of disease prevention, including diseases of the skin and just the overall look of your skin. Diet and exercise make a huge difference. And coming back to the age-related loss of bone density and muscle mass, that will show up on your face with facial sagging and hollows and, brow droop. I mean, those age-related changes in bone and muscle can actually age the face. All right, number 9, I talk about this in all of my videos, but I have some pointers for your 40s, and that is sleep. Sleep is so important for the recovery of your skin and for fighting off free radical damage and for total body health and for your longevity on this planet. Women in their 40s may be approaching or going through menopause, and one thing that is not really talked about very much is that a lot of women experience insomnia as a part of menopause, and it can really drastically impact your total body health as well as the health of your skin. So establishing a good sleep hygiene routine, lowering the temperature in the bedroom, making it cool, can help facilitate sleep. Turning off lights early in the evening, turning off your devices in particular, it can help your brain transition to sleep. And this may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. If your partner snores, consider sleeping in separate bedrooms. After you have special adult time, consider sleeping in separate bedrooms. I'm telling you, I believe that can make a huge difference in your sleep, because if you are sensitive to noise, even if you don't realize it, you may be sensitive to noise, and that's keeping you awake at night. And that's not only going to age your skin and total body, that poor sleep, but your relationship is gonna suffer. Speaking of snoring, if you do snore, make sure you bring it up with your primary care provider, because that could be a manifestation of sleep apnea, basically inadequate breathing at night. And that really can have major health consequences. High blood pressure, headaches, and daytime sleepiness to the point that you are like falling asleep behind the wheel. I mean, it can be super dangerous to your health. So definitely bring that to the attention of your primary care provider. They may order a sleep study for you, and if they identify that you have sleep apnea, then you might have to wear a CPAP device at night to rectify that, so that you are getting good oxygen. That's what sleep apnea is. You're not breathing, you're going through bouts throughout the night where your oxygen levels are dropping, and that's really dangerous to your health long term. All right, my final tip for skincare in your 40s is keep it simple. You don't need all of these complicated anti-aging creams, serums, devices, jackhammers. You really don't. And I say this in a lot of my videos, but for those of you approaching your 40s, it's due for a reminder, because this is an age group where the marketing is after you guys. Why? Well, because this is when some of the first, some of the visible signs of aging, they're really starting to appear, and society may be making you insecure about them. And so you're more vulnerable to anti-aging marketing. Not only that, statistically speaking, people in their 40s tend to be more financially stable than younger demographics. So you know who is looking at that, marketing. So just keep your skincare routine simple and try to not fall for a bunch of gimmicky claims like, anti-aging wands and tools. And I mean, some of those things they may make a slight difference, but just be wary that most of skincare boils down to the lifestyle factors, and these other kinds of things are just sort of like bells and whistles. Some of them are complete gimmicks. And that being said, the visible signs of aging, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a manifestation of wisdom that you've been on this planet for a long time. These things that I recommend to you guys, they're more so for protecting the actual health and function of your skin long term, rather than the cosmetic outcome. But incidentally, they tend to go hand in hand. And when it comes to behavioral pieces, tagging on that cosmetic reward is what often will motivate people to do things like wear sunscreen. If you are approaching your 40s, congratulations. Every decade that we're on this planet is a gift. So ignore the marketing that it's somehow bad. It's actually the opposite. It's a very good thing to live into your wiser years. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.